All right, so today we're going to be diving into insurance lead generation companies.
Okay.
Really breaking it down for especially newer agents, just to kind of get a lay of the land
Yeah,
of, all the different options that are out there.
absolutely.
And we're pulling all this great info from our friends over at Badass Insurance Leads.
Perfect.
So let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
When we talk about a good lead generation company,
Yeah.
what are some of the things that make a company good?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The first thing you'll notice is there's kind of two different types of companies in this space.
Okay.
Lead aggregators and lead generators.
Go.
So lead aggregators are basically middlemen.
Okay.
They buy leads from a bunch of different sources and then they resell them.
Okay.
Whereas lead generators, they actually generate their own leads.
So they're like the source.
Yeah, they're like the source, the farm to table, if you will.
Got it.
So that's the first distinction I would make.
So fresh leads, straight from the source.
Yeah, I mean, freshness is huge, right?
Yeah.
As an agent, you don't want to be calling on the same leads that everyone else is calling on. You want to be the first one to get in touch with them.
For sure.
But it goes beyond just freshness.
Okay.
You also want to make sure that the company is generating these leads ethically.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're in the business of building trust with people.
Right.
And that trust starts with how you're actually getting these leads.
Absolutely.
So it's important to work with a company that's transparent about where they're getting these leads from.
Totally. So ethical sourcing, it's a must.
It's a must.
What else should agents be kind of keeping an eye out for?
Well, I would say support is really important.
Okay.
You wouldn't buy a car from a dealership if you didn't think they had a good service department.
Right.
The same is true with lead generation companies.
Okay.
You want to work with a company that has flexible packages,
Got it.
strong customer support, ideally a dedicated account manager.
Almost like a Sherpa.
Like a Sherpa. Yeah,
Someone to guide you through this crazy world of leads.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And someone who can kind of tailor a package to your specific needs.
Right, because each agent is different.
Each agent is
And
different.
you're going to need different types of leads.
Absolutely.
Different volumes, different stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. You want to think about your own growth trajectory.
Definitely.
Do you need a ton of leads right away, or do you want to start slow and build momentum?
Right. Got to figure out what's right for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into some of these specific companies.
Yeah.
First one that we're going to look at is SmartFinancial.
All right.
What makes them stand out?
SmartFinancial is really known for having a diverse set of lead products.
Okay.
So they offer live transfers, exclusive web leads, shared web leads.
Wow. So a little something for everyone.
Yeah, a little something for everyone.
And what about, are they able to target certain demographics, certain types of clients?
Yeah, they have a very tech-driven approach.
Yep.
So they're using data and algorithms to target specific demographics.
Wow. Very cool.
So you can really hone in on your ideal client.
So very specific, very precise with who they're targeting.
Absolutely.
Now, what about control for the agents? Can agents kind of go in and say, I only want this many leads, or I need to take a breather, or, different things like that?
Yeah, they give you a lot of control.
Okay.
You can actually adjust your lead volume, pause campaigns.
Nice.
You can use filters for geographic targeting.
It's almost like a lead generation dashboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
And they don't have any contracts.
Okay.
And they offer a 2-week return window for bad leads.
Oh, wow.
So if you get a lead and it's no good, you can actually get your money back.
So they stand behind what they're selling.
They stand behind it, yeah.
That's fantastic.
All right, now let's switch gears completely. Let's talk about Datalot.
Datalot. Okay.
So Datalot focuses exclusively on pre-qualified live call leads.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
So imagine this. Instead of you calling leads, leads are calling you.
Oh, wow.
And these are pre-qualified leads that are ready to talk insurance.
Talk about a role reversal. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So how does that work?
So they have a platform called Dial Drive.
Okay.
And basically their digital marketing team finds and pre-qualifies prospects online.
Got it.
And then their system connects those prospects with agents like you.
Okay.
Through live phone calls.
So they're doing all the legwork.
They're doing a lot of the legwork, yeah.
Very nice.
Now, the feedback on Datalot is a little bit mixed.
Okay.
Some agents love them. Others have raised some concerns about pricing and the accuracy of their filtering.
Got it.
So I would say maybe dip your toes in the water before you jump in head first.
Makes sense. Little test drive.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've got QuoteWizard.
All right.
What's their deal?
So QuoteWizard is a giant in the lead generation space.
Okay.
They boast over 300,000 unique leads every month.
Wow. A lot of leads.
a lot of leads, but they also emphasize quality, which is huge.
Right, because you don't want just a bunch of junk leads.
You don't want junk leads, you want quality leads.
Exactly.
So to make sure their leads are high quality, they have this scoring system called QuoteWizard IQ.
Right.
And that basically evaluates and ranks leads based on a number of different factors.
Okay.
And they cover a ton of different insurance lines.
Okay.
Auto, home, health, Medicare, renters, insurance.
So really, truly a one-stop shop.
Yeah, they're a one-stop shop for insurance leads.
That's fantastic.
And they offer over 60 custom filters
Nice.
for precise targeting.
Wow, very cool.
And they also have discounts for new agents.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that's a nice little perk.
Yeah, very helpful when you're just getting started.
All right, let's move on to Hometown Quotes.
Hometown Quotes. Okay.
So Hometown Quotes was actually founded by an insurance veteran.
Okay.
So they really understand the needs of agents.
Got it.
They prioritize high-quality, real-time leads, and they primarily focus on auto, home, renters, and life insurance.
Got it.
And their customer service is really where they shine. When you sign up with Hometown Quotes, you get a dedicated regional director who acts as your personal lead gen coach.
Nice.
And you get access to Hometown University, which offers training and resources
Oh, wow.
to help you turn those leads into clients.
Wow. So they're not just giving you leads, they're giving you the resources to make those leads work.
Exactly. They're giving you the tools and the support you need to succeed.
That's fantastic.
All right. Last but not least, we have EverQuote.
EverQuote. Okay.
So EverQuote is all about high-intent clients.
Gotcha.
They focus mainly on the auto and life insurance markets.
Okay.
And they source their leads from their own network as well as from trusted partners.
Okay.
Which helps ensure quality and exclusivity.
And exclusivity is important. You don't want to be fighting over the same leads.
You don't want to be fighting over the same leads. You want to make sure that these leads are fresh.
Exactly. And they're exclusive to you.
So what kind of control do agents have with them?
So they offer zip code targeting.
Okay.
So you can really focus on your local area.
Gotcha.
You can set daily lead caps.
Nice.
So you don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't want to drown in leads.
And you can choose between exclusive leads and shared leads.
Okay.
So exclusive leads, you're the only agent receiving that lead.
Gotcha.
Shared leads, it's distributed to a limited number of agents.
Okay. So, again, they've got a lot of flexibility.
A lot of flexibility.
For the agent to figure out what works for them.
Absolutely.
Now, are there any downsides to EverQuote?
Some agents have said that the volume of contact you get after a lead fills out a form on their platform can be a bit much.
Oh, okay.
So it's just something to be aware of.
So maybe a little give and take there. High intent leads, but maybe you're going to get contacted a lot.
Yeah, potentially.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground here just in this first part.
We have.
Of our deep dive into lead generation companies.
So just to kind of recap before we move on.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that our listeners should really be considering as they're evaluating all these different companies?
I think the most important thing is to figure out what matters most to you.
Okay.
So, is it volume?
Okay.
Is it exclusivity?
Okay.
Is it support?
Got it.
Is it control?
All right.
Is it price?
Right.
And once you figure out what matters most to you, then you can start to narrow down your options.
Perfect.
And then from there, I would say, don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
You might be surprised what works best for you.
Totally.
Try a smaller package, try different companies.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask questions either.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, reach out to the companies, get a feel for their customer service, talk to other agents who've used them,
Right.
get their feedback.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Absolutely. Very important.
And just know that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. It's really about finding the company that's the best fit for you.
And your needs.
And your needs.
Excellent advice.
All right.
Well, that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into lead generation companies for insurance agents.
Perfect.
We've got a lot more to cover, so make sure you join us for part 2, where we're going to be talking about lead types.
All right.
And really breaking down, what's the difference between a live transfer and a web lead.
Sounds good.
All that good stuff.
Looking forward to it.
All right. See you there.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
All right. So in part 1, we talked all about what makes a good lead generation company.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
We did. And now we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty.
All right.
And really kind of break things down even further.
Sounds good.
So let's start with a basic question.
Okay.
What's the difference between a lead aggregator and a lead generator?
That's a great question. And it's one that I get asked a lot.
Okay.
So Lead aggregators, as we talked about before, they're basically the middlemen. They buy leads from a bunch of different sources and then resell them.
Okay.
Lead generators actually generate their own leads.
So they're going straight to the source.
They're going straight to the source.
So when we talk about lead aggregators,
yeah,
is there a chance that those leads could be stale?
There is a chance that they could be stale.
Okay.
Because they've been, sold to multiple agents.
Got it.
So that's something to keep in mind.
So with lead generators, I'm assuming we're talking about fresher leads.
Fresher leads, more exclusive leads,
Okay.
And you're dealing directly with the source.
Right. So more transparency.
More transparency.
Okay. And we talked about ethical lead generation in the first part.
We did.
Super important.
Super important.
How can agents really make sure that the company they're working with is sourcing their leads ethically?
It's all about asking the right questions.
Okay.
Ask them about their lead generation methods.
Okay.
Ask them about their compliance with regulations.
Yep.
Ask them about their commitment to consumer privacy.
Got it.
A reputable company will be happy to answer those questions.
Right. Transparency is key.
Transparency is key.
And that's something that Badass Insurance Leads really focuses on as well.
Absolutely.
Is making sure that all of the companies that we recommend are sourcing their leads ethically.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about incentives.
Okay.
A lot of these lead companies are offering different incentives.
They are.
Free quotes or things like that.
Right.
To get people to give up their information.
Yeah.
Is that a red flag?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It can be a legitimate way to attract leads.
Okay.
But you just want to make sure that those incentives are aligned with your values and your business practices.
Got it.
You don't want to be misleading people.
Right.
Or making promises that you can't keep.
For sure.
So it's just something to be mindful of.
And I think that kind of goes back to ethical lead generation.
It does.
Just making sure that everything's above board. Absolutely.
All right, so we've got our leads. Hopefully they're ethically sourced.
Right.
What about customer service?
Customer service is huge.
Okay.
You want to work with a company that's responsive.
Okay.
That has clear communication.
Got it.
And ideally a dedicated account manager.
Like we talked about before.
Like we talked about before.
Your lead Sherpa.
Exactly.
So is there anything else that agents should be thinking about when they're kind of wading through all of these lead companies?
I would say think about what type of lead you're looking for.
Okay.
Are you looking for people who are interested in a specific type of insurance?
Got it.
Are you comfortable with a hands-off approach? Or do you need more support?
Okay.
Think about your budget.
Okay.
And then just don't be afraid to experiment.
Right.
Try different companies, try different packages.
See what works.
See what works.
All right, so let's circle back to those 5 companies that we talked about in the first part.
Okay.
And just kind of highlight one key thing about each one. Sounds good.
So SmartFinancial.
SmartFinancial. Control.
Okay.
They give you a lot of control over your campaigns.
Got it.
You can adjust lead volume, pause campaigns, you can set filters, all that good stuff.
So very customizable.
Very customizable.
What about Datalot?
Datalot, live transfers.
Live transfers, so those warm leads coming straight to your phone.
Exactly.
Awesome. QuoteWizard.
QuoteWizard, volume,
Okay.
high volume of leads, lots of different filters.
Got it. Hometown quotes.
Hometown quotes, support,
dedicated
account managers, lots of training and resources.
So they're really holding your hand.
They're holding your hand
through the whole process. In EverQuote.
EverQuote exclusivity.
Exclusivity. So you're not fighting over those leads.
You're not fighting over those leads.
All right. So that's a really good overview of those 5 companies.
It is.
As we head into the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
What's one question that our listeners should be thinking about?
How are you going to track your return on investment?
Ooh, good question.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Right. You're investing in these leads.
You're investing.
Got to make sure that they're working for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've talked about what makes a good lead generation company. We've talked about the different types of leads, different companies, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
Now we've got to talk about ROI.
Absolutely.
They got to make sure that these leads are actually working for us.
Right. It's not enough to just get the leads. You got to make sure they're turning into clients.
Exactly. So how do we track that? How do we measure ROI?
So the first thing you need is a system for tracking your leads.
Okay.
This could be a simple spreadsheet. It could be a CRM system.
Got it.
Whatever works for you.
So what kind of information should we be tracking in our spreadsheet or CRM?
So you want to track the source of the lead,
okay,
the date you received it,
got it,
the date you made contact, the outcome of that contact, whether it was a sale, a follow-up, or no response, and any notes about the conversation.
Okay, so we're really just gathering all the data.
Gathering all the data.
About each lead.
Yep.
Now, how do we actually calculate ROI?
So the formula for ROI is pretty simple.
Okay.
You take the revenue you generated from the leads.
Okay.
Subtract the cost of the leads.
Got it.
Divide that number by the cost of the leads.
Okay.
And then multiply by 100 to get a percentage.
Right. So if I spend $1,000 on leads and I make $5,000 from those leads, my ROI is 400%.
400%, you got it.
It's a good ROI.
That's a great ROI.
All right. So what if our ROI isn't that great?
Yeah.
What are some of the red flags that we should be looking out for?
So one of the biggest red flags is a low conversion rate.
Okay.
So if you're contacting a lot of leads, but only a small percentage of them are becoming clients, that's a sign that something needs to change.
Okay. So what can we do to improve that?
So first you got to figure out what the problem is.
Okay.
Is it the leads themselves?
Okay.
Are they low quality?
Got it.
Or is it your sales process?
Okay.
Maybe your follow-up needs work.
Okay.
Maybe your closing techniques need work.
So really got to take a look at the whole picture.
The whole picture.
And figure out where the breakdown's happening.
Exactly.
So let's say the leads are good.
Okay.
But our conversion rate still needs work.
Yeah.
What are some things we can do to improve that?
So one of the most important things is to build relationships.
Okay.
People buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
So take the time to get to know your leads.
Okay.
Understand their needs.
Got it.
Build rapport.
Okay.
Don't just treat them like transactions.
All right, right.
Treat them like human beings.
Humanize the process.
Humanize the process.
And I know, we get busy.
Yeah.
Sometimes those follow-ups slip through the cracks. So what can we do to make sure that we're staying top of mind with those potential clients?
I think the most important thing is to have a system.
Okay.
So whether it's a CRM or a spreadsheet or just a notebook.
Okay.
Have something that reminds you to follow up.
Okay.
And be consistent.
Consistency. That's key.
Consistency is key.
Now, I know there's a ton of technology out there that can help us with all of this.
There is.
So are there any specific tools or resources that you recommend?
Yeah, there are a lot of great CRMs out there.
Okay.
There are email marketing platforms.
Got it.
There are automation tools.
Okay.
So, do some research.
Right.
Figure out what works best for you.
Okay. So before we wrap things up,
yeah,
any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Lead generation is a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process.
Got it.
You got to be patient.
Okay.
You got to be persistent.
Got it.
And you got to be willing to adjust your strategy along the way.
Right. Got to stay flexible.
Got to stay flexible.
I love it.
All right.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into lead generation companies for insurance agents.
Perfect.
Hopefully you found this helpful.
I hope so.
And if you want more information, make sure you check out Badass Insurance Leads.
Absolutely.
They are a fantastic resource for everything lead generation.
They are.
All right. That's it for us.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.